The Tale of Two Wolves. An old Cherokee told his grandson, "My son, there is a battle between two wolves inside of us all. One is evil, it is anger, it is jealousy, greed, resentment, inferiority, lies, and ego. The other is good, it is joy, peace, love, hope, humility, kindness, empathy, and truth." The boy thought about it and asked, "Grandfather, which wolf wins?" The old man quickly replies, "The one you feed." So anyway, I absolutely love this. This is a little magnet on my refrigerator, and it's pretty amazing. And so in Pruvit, we have these really two stories we talk a lot about. We talk about the Rhino, and the Rhino's message is forge forward. Like the Rhino has thick skin and it can take bullets, it can take arrows and not penetrate it because it keeps moving forward. And the Rhino's very focused on where it's going, and it just goes no matter what. Plows through it and gets it done. And I probably have lived in that state of mind most of my life. It's like I want to accomplish something, I do it. Sometimes even to the demise of things around me or my own body. And so when I first learned about the two wolves, and the first time, and the shirt I have on today, two wolves. Yes, I wear this as a reminder for me, and this is how I remind. I have a couple things like this. And so when I first learned about the two wolves, and I broke an arrow with my neck, and realized that my biggest enemy, if there's sense of thing, is the battle between the two wolves, or the good and the evil, or the devil and God, right? Like that battle is going on. I don't know if you can relate to this or not. Who's heard that story before? Let me know in the chat. I appreciate it. Who's been to one of our More events? We do this at More. We often talk about the wolf at War. We at More, and we break an arrow, often an arrow with our neck, or walk on fire or something. And it's a breakthrough to try to, basically teach you how to listen and feed the good wolf. And so I found that I'm my biggest critic. What's up, Adam? And so I get so down on myself, or I get so frustrated with things that I'm doing. And the reality is that it's not that bad, right? Or I'm actually doing pretty good. And that's most cases. And I have a tendency to feed the bad wolf, especially in certain life circumstances and situations. And so it's still my area of weakness when I compare the two animals that we use as analogies of how we want to better our life. So if it's, I slipped on my diet, if I, had a disagreement with my wife, if I'm, not having the success I think I should have in business, if it's whatever it might be, cleaning out the garage. I cleaned the pantry last night because we had a little infestation, and I can get on myself for these things. And so something I've gotten to learn is a few techniques. One's the stop technique, which helped me a lot to basically stop feeding the bad wolf. That was the one thing I had to learn how to stop it, recognize that I'm doing it. That took me some time because, I'm a little slow. And then the other thing was, how do you feed the good wolf? And we do these things called I am statements, something that my wife and I really spend a lot of time with our kids on. It's easy for us sometimes to maybe point out things that they're not doing right or not as efficient. And then we're thinking that's potentially subconsciously teaching them the same thing. And we have to be like, they have to know that. Well, I'd rather them think they're badass. I'd rather them go for it. I'd rather them talk about how much they can accomplish and achieve, rather than thinking how bad or how much they suck at something, right? And so I know there's a fine line with all that, but so we're trying to do this is reinforce this in I am statements. I am good, I'm worthy, I'm healthy, I am fit, and you want to start believing these things before. Someone taught me this is like, if you really want to change your life, start believing that your life's changed before your life will change, right? You have to start to believe in the changes. It's the cause and effect, right? If I win the lottery, I'm going to be happy. Well, no, get happy. You're more likely to win the lottery, if that makes any sense, at least and keep your money. And so that's really the story of the two wolves is, which wolf are you feeding? And I'm curious, which one are you feeding right now? Because for the last couple of days, I've been kind of back and forth. Now, the good thing is I've learned tools. I've learned techniques to catch it. I've learned and have been taught. And I learned these because I went and seeked it, right? I learned because I got around people that understood this concept. And I'm looking at a book right now. There's actually two over on my desk. One's The Power of One More by Ed Milet, who's extraordinary. If you get a chance to check out his stuff, check out his stuff. And the other one is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And there's so much wisdom in these books. But ironically, they're teaching you this. But when you're in the mud, sometimes it's hard to, or you're in the forest, it's sometimes hard to see the trees, right? Because you're stuck inside of it all. And that happens to all of us. So the more that you can start to teach yourself that you're in it, the more that you can start to become objective and start to pull yourself into another place and start feeding the good wolf. And if you fed the good wolf most of the time, your life is going to be better. I promise you that. It is just is. And I've gotten accused, especially over the last 8 years, of being too happy, even a fake, because like nobody can be that happy. Well, honestly, you can. You can choose to be that way. It doesn't always make it easy, but I can choose to be pissed off, irritated, and frustrated, or I can choose to be happy, smiling, and have joy in that day, even though there's shit in my life that's not going very well, right? That was a choice, right? It's not always an easy choice. I was at school and somebody stopped me, like, how are you just had a baby? Like, how are you got so much energy? I'm like, is there another way to be? What's the alternative? Mope around and act like I'm exhausted? Yeah, I only slept 5 hours last night or 3 hours last night. I've been up all night. I mean, it's okay to be tired. I'm not saying I wasn't tired. It's just that I don't want to, I'd rather emanate energy because I feel better when I'm that way. So, oh, I love this story too. So anyway, that's all I wanted to share today. I think it's a pretty powerful story. So if you just jumped on right now, I told you guys the story of the two wolves. I'll say it again just because I think it's pretty cool. So, a tale of two wolves. An old Cherokee chief told his grandson, "My son, there's a battle between two wolves inside of all of us. One is evil and is anger, jealousy, greed, resentment, inferiority, lies, and ego. The other is good. It is joy, peace, love, hope, humility, kindness, empathy, and truth." The boy that thought about it and asked, "Grandfather, which wolf wins?" The grandfather quickly replied, "The one you feed." And so I love this one. That's why I wear the shirt, because it reminds me to keep feeding the good wolf, even though things aren't going there. Liam, I hit Liam. I said I was going to do this live. Yeah, which to feed, Liam. It's pretty funny because I was actually going to do this live earlier today. Liam and I were chatting earlier about some stuff, and it was pretty cool that he asked what I was going to do with my live about. But so anyway, y'all decide. If you haven't seen this, find triggers. This is what I'll tell you little secrets that work for me. I did learn the stop technique by Joseph McClendon III, an extraordinary man, individual that I've learned a lot from. So I highly recommend following his stuff. It's just amazing, and that helps. One of the things he makes you do is shake your ass. So when you shake your ass, it changes your state, right? That's one. The other thing I've been doing is meditating. Meditating is something I'm still practicing. So it's something I'm still working towards. Somebody's calling me. So it's something I'm still working towards on the meditation side of things. And so, but the last thing I do is I have triggers that triggers me into a different state of mind. Music can be a good one for a lot of people. So music often is a good trigger for people. A song triggers you out of it. Now it can trigger you into an emotional state because it's about a song that of an old flame that you broke up with, and it reminds you of that person and the emotion that went with it. But music can also elevate you. So like 90s country reminds me of some really good times, right? Some of the hip hop back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I was in the bar business, or I was a bartender, I was in college. It reminds me of some good times. So that's a trigger that can move me into a place of like, okay, I'll feed the good wolf, right? Feed the good wolf. I also wear the shirt. The shirt is a trigger. I put this on my this actually is a magnet that goes on my refrigerator, and I look at it. I see it every day. So it's a trigger that reminds me that I get to choose who I'm feeding, even though I could go both ways. Life is so complicated for so many people. You can choose to go both ways. Put it in perspective. There was a quote on Instagram or on Facebook last night. Let's see if I can remember it. Oh, it goes. This guy has the best life ever. It's a perspective. This guy has the best life ever. He has sex, or he has sex, every day. He gets 3 meals a day. He gets to watch, 5 hours of TV every day. In prison. And so, so, so it was really funny. It was something like that. But basically, it's like you're kind of like, I want that life. No, it doesn't have to pay bills or something like that. It was really cool. And then it says at the end, it's in prison. So it's a perspective, right? It's like, oh my God, I want that. Oh, I don't want to be in prison for that. So I thought that was pretty interesting, pretty good. So that said, y'all have an unbelievable, amazing, amazing rest of your week. What's up, Faye? Nice to see you, Faye. It's been a while. It's been a moment. It's been a minute. Um, what's up, Deborah? How are you? I hope you're well. Y'all, just say something good or nice to somebody. Choose the day to have the rest of the day be awesome, right? Choose the day to give grace to somebody that maybe needs it. And lastly, I would say is give some gratitude to somebody. Maybe it's the person that you're least expecting. Send out a text, send out a message. Maybe it's a friend. I hit a friend yesterday, just thinking about them. It's one of my little go-tos. Little secret I have is that if somebody pops my mind, a memory of somebody or an old friend, I message them. I don't wait. I just do it right then. Hey, dude, I just think about you. Hope things are good. Like, it's been a while. And I just randomly, so people, if you get a random message from me, it's because I randomly thought about you. And it's funny because I don't even know what to say sometimes and say, hey, dude, I just thought about you. Or hey, I had a dream about you. It was Steve Geiger, my buddy from growing up. I just had a dream about him. It wasn't bad. He goes, was it bad? I go, no, your clothes was all on. It was good. And so that's just something you can do that goes a long ways. It really, really does. I love getting messages from people I haven't heard from a long time because it's just like, wow, we're not that far disconnected from people. We're very much, a lot of us are alike in so many ways. So with that said and done, cheers, y'all. Have an unbelievable night. Peace.